You ever feel like your mind is just a total mess of random thoughts and feelings? Well, what if I told you that underneath all that surface level noise, your brain is actually running on a surprisingly logical and predictable program? Today, we're going to dive deep into the hidden logic of your mind. Okay, let's start with this. You ever wake up from a dream that was just so bizarre? And you think to yourself, what on earth was that? Was it just a chaotic jumble of meaningless images? Maybe the result of that late night pizza?
It's a super common feeling, right? We tend to think of our inner world as this whirlwind of subjective chaos. But what if that's just how it feels? What if, in reality, your mind is an absolute marvel of objective, structured processing?
And here's the second piece of our puzzle today. Why do you feel like you're practically friends with a podcast host you listen to every single week or a streamer you watch every day? I mean, you've never met them, but that connection, it feels real. Now, these two mysteries seem completely unrelated, but trust me, they point to the exact same powerful logic that's hardwired into your brain. All right, let's tackle that first mystery, your dreams. Are they really just the mental equivalent of throwing paint at a canvas and seeing what sticks? Or is there a hidden method to all that madness? So the secret here lies in something called neural oscillations. Now, you can think of these as the rhythm section of your brain, keeping this steady, measurable beat. And these aren't just some abstract idea. They're actual, physical, predictable brainwaves, like these gamma waves you see here, that create the very foundation for everything you think and remember. This is your brain's actionable logic in motion. And that rhythm section, it follows a very strict schedule. When you're asleep, your brain is running this incredibly sophisticated multi-stage program to sort through all the day's data. First up, in slow-wave sleep, it's consolidating the facts. Then, these things called sleep spindles get to work, rewiring and strengthening connections. And finally, REM sleep comes in to weave all the emotional context into the tapestry of your memory. See, it's a highly organized procedure, not some random free-for-all. This process is so powerful, it creates an effect you've probably felt yourself, the Tetris effect. Yeah, seriously. If you play a game like Tetris for hours, you start seeing those falling blocks in your thoughts, maybe even in your dreams. That's because that repeated, patterned activity has literally embedded itself into your cognitive architecture. Your brain isn't just good at finding patterns, it is a pattern machine. So, what's the bottom line here? Your dreams are not random noise. Even when they're at their most bizarre, they are the output of a deeply structured, logical, and totally measurable system. They're concrete proof of your brain's constant, orderly work to build a coherent map of your world. Okay, so if our dreams are a product of our brain's absolute love for patterns, what about our waking life? Let's jump to that other, seemingly unrelated mystery, our strange, one-sided friendships with people we only know through a screen. Psychologists actually have a name for this very specific feeling. It's called a parasocial interaction. It's basically a one-sided relationship where we, the audience, come to see media figures as our actual friends. It might be an illusion, sure, but the feelings it produces are absolutely real. And these digital friendships don't just pop up out of nowhere. They're built, step by step, through a surprisingly predictable pattern. It's a formula, really. It starts with just simple exposure, and then through repetition and consistency over time, it transforms into this powerful, stable sense of connection and even intimacy. And as you can see right here, this isn't just about one type of media. Whether we're talking about a beloved TV character from your childhood, a YouTuber you watch every single day, or your favorite podcast host, the underlying psychological pattern is exactly the same. The platform changes, but the mental process, it stays the same. So, just how powerful is this patterned connection? Well, it's so powerful that when it ends, like when a favorite show has its finale, people can experience what researchers call a parasocial breakup. And that sense of loss can feel surprisingly similar to a real-life breakup, because to our pattern-seeking brain, that relationship was stable, predictable, and therefore very, very real. Okay. So we have these structured, patterned dreams on one hand, and these predictable, patterned media relationships on the other. What on earth could possibly be the common thread? Here it is. Both of these phenomena are products of your brain's fundamental operating principle. It craves consistent, predictable patterns to build and maintain a stable sense of self, a stable identity. And this isn't just some weird quirk of our minds. It's a fundamental principle of how we build our identities. I mean, think about an artist. Their unique style is just a consistent pattern in their work. Or our friendships. They're built on the predictable pattern of trust. Even our own personalities are a kind of performance of consistent behaviors. It always comes back to the power of the pattern.
And this powerful unifying principle, it has a name: functional coherence. This is the big idea. It's like the master algorithm of your mind, the grand process of aligning all the patterns of your life, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, into the stable, integrated person that you are.
So let's just quickly recap the journey we've been on. We started inside our own heads, discovering our dreams aren't random at all, but a product of structured neurological patterns. Then we looked at the world around us and found that our digital friendships follow these surprisingly predictable psychological patterns. And the thread connecting all of it? Our brain's relentless drive to create a stable sense of self through this incredible process called functional coherence. Ultimately, your mind isn't a swirling vortex of chaos. Its default state is order. Your sense of self, your dreams, your connections, they are all a measurable manifestation of actionable logic, of pure neuron precision, logically triumphing over what only feels like subjective chaos. So the next time you wake up from a strange dream or feel that connection to a creator online, you'll know it's not random. It's the elegant, patterned logic of your own mind at work. The only question left is, where else in your life can you see that logic in action?